Hello everybody and welcome back to the Figure Fourcast. I am your host King Damo, joined as always by my good friend Sammy Drip Drip. We have finally made it. It's Wrestlemania. How excited are you?
It is Wrestlemania now. And I mean, if I was to scale it out of 5, I'd probably be a 7 out of 5. So I'm excited. It's inside joke. But yeah, I can't believe it's kind of WrestleMania already.
Yeah,
it's come around so quick.
Time of recording with two sleeps out.
2 sleeps. It is kind of like Christmas, isn't it? It's got that Christmas feel. Like we're WrestleMania Eve today, WrestleMania Eve tomorrow, and then WrestleMania.
Yeah, we've obviously still got one more SmackDown to watch, and we're not expecting any big announcements or anything on it. We've got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
We do. It's something we didn't think we'd have.
It's normally not a must watch, but
no. Well, Roman Reigns and Cody are coming face to face on that show.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Raw was quite eventful for a go-home show.
Yeah.
I think over the last few years we've kind of got used to the Vince McMahon go-home show, which is kind of non-existent. They almost give up on it, and they're just like, you'll forget about it down the line, and you'll just remember the big event. But it had some sort of... It developed all of the plots, and it had all of the key players, bar a couple.
Expecting some hype built, the confrontations between superstars and stuff, but I don't think we're going to have any twists, so we should be able to comfortably talk about every match.
Touch wood.
The one that's not been announced, because he's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but I do expect something to happen on the show, is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I expect there to be something small on there, but that'd just be something fun to enjoy. Probably
I
on night two.
I hope so, because I think he deserves it. I think I've said to you off microphone, obviously, just in our chats, that I think LA Knight's getting stunned.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a place on the card at some point, because he's so over. I love him, and he's in the Battle Royal, but he deserves more than that, and I can just see him coming out and carrying on this thing that he's going on, and a WrestleMania in LA, and LA Knight's not on it.
Well, there's 13 matches over the 2 nights. I think we've had WrestleManias in the past with 13 matches on one night. Yeah. So there's plenty of time for some small segments. Hopefully a lot of these matches get some good time. Most of them should. But there's plenty to look forward to outside of this. We're going to try and go through every match in one episode. That might get a bit big, so we might split it. You'll know when you're listening to this if we did or not, because there'll be a part 2 directly above this. Or if you've already watched the show, listen along and see if we get our predictions right.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to come up with some sort of... Shall we do a WrestleMania punishment? Well, I know we're doing a punishment at the end of the year, but...
Have you got any ideas now? On the fly?
No, I don't. It just came to the top of my head. I mean, if you've got any suggestions and you're listening, hit us up.
I think WrestleMania punishment, we should get our friend who'll be watching with us to vote on who he thinks is going to win every match. And if we don't beat him, there should be a punishment.
That's fair. Yeah,
in fact, that should probably be a rolling punishment going forward. If we can't beat him just randomly guessing, we have to do a forfeit. What the forfeit is, we'll have to have a think.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of days. We'll tweet it.
We'll try and get him on the show after WrestleMania as well. Maybe get him to record it with us, because I think it'd be quite an interesting insight into like his first WrestleMania, seeing as he's so new to wrestling. But anyway, shall we dive into the show?
Yeah. So it's already been announced that the first match of night 1 is John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States title. Not a whole lot of backstory on this match. Austin Theory has kind of transitioned into this sort of proto-Cena sort of character with the United States title. It's very reminiscent of early John Cena characters, and I think that's kind of the basis of this match. Is there was a lot of comparisons. You're going to be the next Cena? Well, bring Cena in for a match. Obviously, that United States title has meant a lot to John Cena over the years, various points in his career.
Last time he opened a WrestleMania, it was for the US title, beat the Big Show.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He got entered into our Hall of Fame last week.
He did indeed.
I wasn't expecting this to go on first. It doesn't quite have the hallmarks for me of a WrestleMania opener. That being said, I'm excited for this one. I'm hoping that we can get some good John Cena out of it. He's a bit of a mixed bag what you get from him. So
it's a solid opener.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting maybe Bianca Asuka to open. But they've announced this, and I think it's a good opener. It's kind of the first WrestleMania in a few years, well, in as long as I can remember, that they're not pushing the stars of yesteryear as one of the main attractions, and I think this is sort of Triple H flexing in a way.
Yeah.
I know we've got the women's match with Lita and Trish, but again, they're sort of not being pushed as the main bit of the match in a way. It's the Becky Bayley match, so I think it's kind of like I said, Triple H flexing on Vince, almost saying, well, look, we're using the stars of today to promote a WrestleMania, and it's getting over.
But you can use the stars. There's a few stars of the past on there, as you mentioned. You've got Trish, Lita, you've got John Cena. But they're taking a bit more of a backseat. Like, they're there to get some eyes, but they're not the main draw. So
in terms of this match itself, I think that Cena's going to win. I think I've mentioned it to you previously. I think Cena's going to win on Raw after Mania. He's going to come out, do the US Open title challenge, and Jay White's going to come down and take the title. I'm putting my money on it. That's my bet. I like Austin Theory. I think he's good. However, his character is being done better by someone on the WrestleMania card than him, and that's Logan Paul. Logan Paul does a better Austin Theory than Austin Theory.
I mean, yeah, that's not...
I think there's something there of Austin Theory, but this character, I just don't think it's him.
No.
I'd be interested to see him as a babyface and just see how he gets over.
Yeah, it could be interesting. As we've said, like, he has that kind of early days Cena aspect. Obviously, he's not got the rapper gimmick that Cena had, but
maybe he should.
That he's kind of got that bit of edginess now. He kind of picks it up in this United States title run he's had. A babyface turn could do good for him. I'm not sure if they're going to do that. I think they're going to stick with a heel.
I do as well, yeah.
I very much like your idea for Cena winning and having the open challenge, and I think that makes a lot of sense if WWE are pulling that off. Rumours have gone quite cold on Jay White.
They have.
Not to say that means it's not happening, because they could be trying to make him go quiet so that it's more of a surprise. I'm not convinced that story is what WWE are going for. I think this is meant to be a little bit of a passing of the torch kind of one, so I'm going to go for Theory to win.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely plausible and I can see it happening. Jay White has gone quiet, but then Steve Austin has also said that WWE hasn't contacted him for this year's WrestleMania, and that's complete crap, because they absolutely would have. Not a chance that they wouldn't have. So he's also definitely appearing.
Yeah.
I'll nail my colours to the mast for both of those. But, I mean, it should be a good match. I think it is, on reflection, I think it's probably the perfect opener. You get the pop from John Cena coming down, start the show good, start the show hot.
I think it all depends on what sort of Cena we get. When he goes, he can go really well, but since his pseudo-retirement and his move to Hollywood, he's obviously not been as much of an in-ring wrestler, and I feel like his matches are missing something at the minute, but that is to be expected when you just kind of take that step away. It's going to be a lot harder to have that flow. Mm-hmm. So it really depends. Hopefully he brings his A game for A-Town.
Wow. Seeing as I've just talked about Logan Paul, that is happening on night one, isn't it? Logan Paul against Seth freaking Rollins. Another interesting match. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one for a lot of reasons. When I look across night one, there's obviously a lot of big matches. I think this is potential for one of the big highlights.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of other matches on here that are going to be in that round, but Logan Paul, Seth Rollins is going to be up there for me, I think.
I agree, yeah. I was just thinking as you were saying it, potential match of the night.
It's going to be difficult.
I don't think they can beat Usos against Sami and KO just because of the history that we've got in that story. But yeah, both of them are so athletic. Logan Paul is... I mean, like in his promos, he says, "You hate me because I'm so good at this, and I don't even do it full time." It's true. Yeah. He's so good at it. He's like a natural athlete, isn't he? And it just transfers so well. Seth Rollins has worked in this sort of role as the gatekeeper of wrestling for me better than I thought.
Yeah.
Because his character's like, it's obviously a bit goofy. You don't really know what he is. Is he a babyface? Is he a heel? But it's strangely worked because that's what wrestling is.
I think he encapsulates wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
With his character.
Look at me, I'm in these crazy ass clothes, but I'm the best here, and this is my world. And if you want to come into this world, you beat me, and it's worked really well.
Yeah, because obviously last year he was the first opponent for Cody's re-debut. I'm hoping we can get a Seth kind of at the top of the card in the next 12 months.
Just hope it's not pure babyface Seth, because it never works out.
This version of Seth at the top, not necessarily winning titles, but I feel like he needs to be up there with some of the matches. He needs some big wins.
He does,
because he's not had many in a while.
Well, that leads us perfectly to what do you think the result is going to be?
I'm going with Seth on this one.
Okay, I've said Logan Paul.
Logan Paul is at the end of his contract with WWE, his rookie year contract, as he's put it.
I didn't know that.
And I fully expect him to re-sign, but him going away for a while after a big loss, I think would make the most sense story-wise. And if he's not coming back, then taking the loss is also the right call.
There's sense in that, yeah. I mean, for me, it's just so 50-50. It's like one of those matches almost where the result doesn't particularly matter.
No, I'm hoping Seth plays some mind games with his outfit. Obviously, he did it against Roman wearing the Shield. He did it with...
Is he going to come down as a can of Prime?
He did it against Cody with the polka dots. What's he going to do?
KSI.
I don't think he can come out as KSI.
Or with KSI.
With KSI is possible, I guess.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping that's going to be an interesting one for even before the match starts. Let's keep your eyes on the entrance match, which you don't always have, but Mania, a lot of wrestlers pull out the big creativity, and I fully hope Seth does do this.
Well, that's two big matches on night one that we've
Who was your prediction? Sorry,
I said Logan Paul.
You said
that
Logan.
One. Yeah. Let's go to one that's sort of a bit understated on this, but I think could be sort of a banger. And that's the men's showcase four-way. Now, I can't actually remember who's in it, so I might need to pull it up on Wiki or something.
We've got Ricochet and Braun Strowman.
Yep.
We have the Viking Raiders.
Yep.
There is Otis and...
Chad.
Cable. And there's one... Street Profits.
Street Profits, of course, yeah. Now, you know my thoughts on Braun Strowman. I'm not his biggest fan. However, he's winning me over. He's turning me around. I feel like this run with Ricochet has sort of revitalised him. And I can almost see him as a potential first challenger for Cody if Cody wins the belt.
Okay.
I think he could be like an underdog challenger, if not underdog, but you know what I mean, like an unlikely challenger.
Braun the underdog.
Yeah, an unlikely challenger for the first defence of Cody.
Yeah, I mean that's something WWE have done a lot of in the past, of having the big challenger. Big Show did it quite often for a babyface to have to face something really difficult, imposing. Someone like Braun works for that, because a lot of your normal offense isn't going to work because they're so big. It's a little bit of a cliche, but it works. I could definitely see that sort of match.
Now, the winner of this match gets a championship match at the SmackDown titles, don't they? I believe.
Yes.
I believe, or one of the titles.
That sounds correct.
I guess whichever brand they're on, they get a shot. I think the most over team in this is Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and I think they're going to win. Because you've got problems with the Alpha Academy, with the whole maximum male models. You've got potential problems with the Street Profits. Not problems, but the potential split into single stars.
It's been talks for a while, hasn't it? The split.
Yeah, and the Viking Raiders just aren't it for me. So I feel like it's Ricochet and Braun Strowman.
I mean, you make a real big point. I'm going for the Street Profits on this one.
Okay.
This is a showcase match, and for me, them getting a big WrestleMania moment would make sense if they're thinking of going down the single route, and a big celebration at Mania will be quite supportive.
Yeah, I do feel like this could be a banger of a match on the night. I really do, with the teams that you've got in there and the men that you've got.
When they announced this showcase thing, obviously they've got a men and a women's one. We'll talk about the women's one a bit later, but I was a little unsure. What was like? It felt a bit weird.
It kind of felt like that payday match, like get people on the card, because at that point they hadn't announced the Andre Battle Royal either, had they?
No, but as they've built it and you've kind of got the matches, and you start looking at the teams and thinking, oh, this could be quite a good tag match. And WWE needs to build up their tag division. It's been mentioned by a lot of people, and I feel this is a good start. Build them up at Mania. You can have the most eyes on them at that point, and then work going forward.
For sure.
Should be a really fun match.
It should. Well, let's go to the other tag match of the night, the 6 ladies tag match. You've got Damage Control against Bacon, Lettuce and Tomato. Becky, Lita and Trish. Obviously a story that's been played out for the last few months.
Yeah.
Especially between Becky and Bayley. I think this might be the end of Damage Control. And I think it's probably the right time as well. I think what you have in the weeks after, maybe even the night, is Dakota Kai and Io Sky turning on Bayley. And Bayley becoming a babyface again. Because for me, I don't really think heel Bayley has worked on this run.
No, I can see where you're coming from there. Are you going for BLT to win then?
Yeah, big BLT win.
See, I've seen some theories online that Trish is turning heel, which is quite out there.
It is,
but it would be interesting to watch. But that requires them then presumably to lose. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I would have done differently in this build. For start, I think it would have made more sense if you'd gone for Trish and Lita winning the tag titles as a big moment. It just seems a little odd with being...
Well, there were the stories of Trish being backstage for weeks, wasn't there?
Yeah.
They just didn't pull the trigger on it.
But I disagree with the Damage Control breaking up now. I feel like that is something that could happen, but the risk is of splitting up teams. And I know you're splitting the trio into a tag and a single, but I think they need to give this a bit more of a run, a bit more of a
I'd
effort.
like them to, because I like the 3 performers together, but I just feel like it's not worked the way that they've done it, and I can't see them changing the angle.
I'm going to give the heels the win on this one. I think Damage Control are going to pick up the win. They lost their titles, so I think the Mania win, especially as Trish and Lita don't really need a Mania win in 2023. Becky also doesn't really need a big Mania win. She's had her fair share. I think the others do. So
that's fair. I mean, we've got a lot of differences on this already. We've not predicted one match the same. Shall we go to the big one of the night? Rey Mysterio against ex-Con Dom. I'm so looking forward to this. When Rey finally bit back on SmackDown last week, I was so happy. I was even showing Shannon.
This has been such a long time coming. You can either look at it as this starting at Clash at the Castle.
We were there.
When
you got the t-shirt, we were there.
Dominic turned on Edge and his dad.
Lost his shoe up Edge's arse. He kicked him so hard.
Great moment to witness. That had been building for a while, but you could see that as the beginning of this. Or you could see SummerSlam, I want to say 2005. I should have looked it up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match as the beginning of all of this. Our introduction to Dominic Mysterio. It's been a long time building, and it could be so good. It could be car crash TV.
I mean, I don't think the in-ring is going to be amazing, because frankly, Dominic Mysterio isn't brilliant.
I'm expecting Damian Priest to be involved.
Yeah.
As the only Judgment Day member who's not doing anything.
Yeah, and they've sort of leaned towards that as well, haven't they? Because Rhea's obviously got her story that she's with. And Damien's been aligned with Dom a bit heavier. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even care if it's going to be crap in ring. I'm just looking forward to it.
I think this is going to... Because they do it both nights. I think this is going to start the Hall of Fame bit. You know that bit of WrestleMania when they bring out all the Hall of Fame inductees and they all stand on the stage and hold up their rings and they kind of say announcement. I think they're going to do that, and that's when this match is going to start.
Okay. Interesting.
Because putting Rey into the Hall of Fame deserved, but it's weird to do it while he's still wrestling and having a match.
Yeah, so he sort of comes out in his ring gear, they're all lined up, and then he goes down to the ring.
Maybe he doesn't even come out. Maybe he comes out in he's wearing a suit and his mask, and then Dom comes out and attacks him, and you're going to start.
I feel like that would have worked better if they hadn't actually announced a match. I think at the Hall of Fame ceremony itself, Conan's getting laid out.
Oh, there's so much that they can do with this.
It's brilliant.
This is the like the soap opera side of wrestling, which
it's so good.
Is always fun to watch. Who are you going for winning on this?
Dom.
You going for Dom?
I think Dom's gonna win, and then the final payoff is at Backlash, and it's a mask against hair match, and Rey Mysterio wins, and Dom's mullet gets shaved off.
I still want to go back to that idea I had of Dom winning the mask and wrestling with it, and then redeeming himself and becoming a face again. So I still want to see that. Does Dom come out in a lowrider? He's been playing up the Eddie Guerrero stuff.
I could see it for sure. I could see it happening.
There's so much more that you could do with this. I do think Dom's going to win here. And I think Ray's gonna feel bad. Like, I think Ray's gonna go into it strong, and then he's gonna realise that he's beating up his son, and then Dom's gonna get like a cheap win.
For like a 619 and then
hesitate.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I think that could happen for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be match of the night, but I think it's gonna be one of those things that we're talking about for like a few weeks when we talk about wrestling, like the Sami Zayn Jackass match from last year's Mania. Like, it wasn't match of the night, but it was so much fun.
I had to watch that match back because I was asleep for most of it. I think I passed out, and then I woke up and Sami Zayn was in a giant mousetrap. I was like, what the hell has happened here? Yeah, looking forward to that one. Right, penultimate match we've got to talk about on the night. Raw Women's Championship. A
potential main event. We don't. It in theory should be the main event. We don't know if it will or won't be.
In the nicest possible way, I really hope it's not the main event, because I think it would be so underwhelming. Because the build has been so underwhelming.
Yeah.
And probably what sort of encapsulates that the most is the Asuka video from Raw on Monday. I don't know, did you see it? Like, where it was building her up.
Yeah.
And it pretty much, if this was a match at WrestleMania 33, after she just won the Royal Rumble and debuted on the main roster, perfect. Because that's all that it was showing. It pretty much the whole end.
You got the wrong...
Which one was it?
No, I mean, this is Rhea Charlotte.
Oh yeah, shit.
You've got you got the wrong woman, which...
My bad.
I mean, if that doesn't encapsulate everything you're saying by itself.
There you go. I mean, okay. I'm just going to carry on with my thoughts. So, yeah, the Asuka thing really annoyed me on Monday.
Okay.
Because it was showing like all these big things, saying how dangerous she is, but it was all from NXT. Yeah. And since she's come up to the main roster, she won the Royal Rumble. But the thing I remember about that is that she lost to Charlotte at Mania.
Yeah.
And lost any sort of credibility or steam that was behind her. And it really bugged me. But I'll come back to that when we talk about her on night 2.
There's the Charlotte link. She lost to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Someone else lost to Charlotte in what would have been a big match.
You're such
at
a professional.
That was Rhea Ripley a couple of years ago. Was that the pandemic pay-per-view?
Yeah. Because do you remember all of like the little vignettes of Rhea in the stadium, Tampa Bay Stadium, going, "Oh, I'm going to be here. I've come from nothing," and it looked really good. And then what happened. I think
roles reversed this time.
Yeah. Well, you say that. I mean,
title and challenger flipped this time.
Course, yeah. Charlotte Flair, she's lost it. First thing, I can't remember the last good Charlotte Flair match. It used to be the case of everyone's best match was against Charlotte Flair, but I don't think that's the case anymore. They went into this program with Charlotte as the babyface, Rhea as the heel.
Yeah.
But I feel like the dynamic is completely different. I think everyone's behind Rhea.
I think that's a difference between how the fans are receiving them and their characters, because Rhea's character is definitely a heel and Charlotte's is kind of a face. But the problem is we've had so much Charlotte that she's got that John Cena heat of she's always there. And people are just like, I'm sick of it. So people want to boo Charlotte.
There's been 2 big moments in this title reign with Charlotte. When she first won it off Ronda, She almost snatched the belt off of the referee and was like, "Give me my goddamn belt," as if she was a heel.
Forgetting she's a face.
And then on this promo that she had on Raw, on SmackDown last week, when she was getting watted, her reaction to that was so heel-like. She's just not a baby face.
No, she's not, and I think that WWE have struggled with needing her to be a babyface.
Yeah.
They're struggling to build baby faces just in general.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of time that fans reject a babyface that you try and force upon them. And you want to create their own. And WWE have always struggled with that. And I think the women's division being a little less star-studded, they've relied on Charlotte so much. They've kind of forced her into this role she doesn't have. That being said, I don't think the Mania match is going to suffer. I think Charlotte's abilities are still top tier, and I think it's one of those, if you've got lightning in a bottle, if both women here bring their best, this is going to be, for me, it's one of the three that are probably going to be, in ring wise, up there for, like, it's going to be between Seth and Logan, this match, and then our last match we're going to talk about for night one.
I really hope you're right. I really do hope you're right. Rhea especially deserves a massive match that's received well by everyone. Her performances in the last 12 months have been
She's got
brilliant.
to win, surely.
Yeah, I was going to say we've both got the same prediction. Surely, there's only one winner.
It's send the fans home happy, even though it's the heel.
Yeah,
you get your best of both. Then you don't have to give it to the babyface, but you also get the crowd reaction you want. And
let's
I think
touch wood for that one.
I think she can do wonders on that title reign. You build a big SummerSlam match with her. I think they've got gold.
Agreed.
There. Okay, so the last match of night one might be looking likely to be the main event. It's definitely the main focused match for night one. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. A match been building for a while. Not the end of the story. This is a part of the Bloodline implosion story that's kind of taken over WWE, and it's had lots of twists and turns since Royal Rumble. Probably the most fan invested match of the night,
for sure. Yeah, there's no problem about
it. The bit on SmackDown this week, a week just gone, of giving Sami Zayn his WrestleZania shirt. It put such a smile on my face.
I actually went to buy one, but it was £33. Fuck that.
I mean, that is about right for wrestling shirts, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
When I used to buy them, they're like 20 quid.
Yeah. Inflation. We're getting old.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't think we need to discuss too much for predictions on this one, because surely it has to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Well, actually, I'm going. No. Yeah, it has to be. There is only one result, isn't there? It's what everyone wants.
It's going to be the big feel-good moment. Whether it is the main event and the last thing we see or not,
it
won't take away from that. It will still be the big moment. But does this go further with the Bloodline splitting up? Like, we've had the Usos kind of being separate for a bit and then coming back together, and there's all this story. Do you think that is splitting up? Are we getting more of that further down the line?
I think it very much depends on what you think the result of Cody Reigns is going to be. Personally, I think yes, it is going to be the breaking up of the Bloodline. How they do that, I don't know, because they've surprised us with this story quite a few times. I think it's probably going to lead to a Solo Sikoa singles run, which is going to be good, and I can see him winning like a US title or a IC title and having a really good run like Gunther, similar to Gunther.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it does eventually lead to the breaking up of the Bloodline.
Which is a story that they've still got a lot they can get out of that. Even Absolutely. If the Bloodline lost all their titles this weekend, there's still so much more. There's still the Rock aspect that is never truly going to go away as long as the Bloodline are a thing. You've got Solo Sikoa, you've got going all the way back with Jay versus Roman still to come.
Well, you've mentioned that. Without giving away my prediction right now for the main event of Mania, I can see Roman Reigns going away for a while. I can see him returning at SummerSlam and facing Jey Uso.
Okay.
I can see that being a match on the card.
Who would be your first challenger for Sami and Kevin Owens? Picking up those, I can't think how they were, unified tag team championships.
Unified.
That's the words I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's talk for both matches. If you get new champions, they're going to introduce new titles.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the titles that Sami and Kevin win, and they'll presumably be on SmackDown. And then you'll get Raw tag team titles as well. Same as if Cody wins, you'll get the WWE title, and then you'll get another one. Who's going to be their first challengers? Well, I guess it's the winner of the just showcase match, which I think would be quite cool.
Yeah.
Strowman, and if it's Strowman and Ricochet or Street Profits, I think both of those are pretty good teams for first title defences.
I hope Sami and Kevin Owens can have a long reign, but not too long. WWE love their year-plus title reigns in a minute, and I'm hoping for a slight deviation from that when these long reigns that we're currently in.
I feel like there was almost hints in the promo on SmackDown of tension between them already, like tension down the line of them potentially splitting.
There's always going to be tension.
Yeah.
But
they're like planting tiny little seeds further down the line, nowhere soon. Like we're talking much later this year, maybe even next year. But yeah, I mean, I think either of those teams would be good teams to go against. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know. It fully depends on what they do, I guess. But this match is just going to be great. It's got so much emotion behind it. And obviously the performances in it are incredible as well. I'm just looking forward to it so much.
There's not too much really to add on that one. It is just I can't wait to see what happens.
I think the visual at the end of the night has to be Sami and Kevin lifting the titles together, and then it just leaves that cliffhanger for the second night of no, Roman's realising the bloodline's imploding.
What if the final shot, or the final scene, not the final shot, is those two in the ring holding up the belts, confetti, whatever they've got going, and then it cuts to a backstage shot of Roman just like devil eyeing a TV, and then back to he's watching, he is pissed.
It's plausible, isn't it? That sounds like a very WWE thing to do.
Right.
I'm just so excited, man. I'm so excited. Just imagine the reaction if they win. When they win, hopefully.
Hopefully when they win. Well, that's everything on night one. I think we're going to cut it here and kind of put this into a little bit more bite-sized chunks for listening and for me editing. So you'll be able to find the next episode up either shortly or it'll be directly above this to listen to part 2 and everything we think that's going to happen in Wrestlemania Night 2. Thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you in a few moments.
Goodbye.